but crazy ridiculous. I feel like I just gotta hold it for the rest of the show now.
Why is it works so well?
I'm gonna like hit something though. I swear I'm gonna hit something. Oh, see? Look. Oh, Phantom Menace, how I adore. I guess it's the same, hey?
I still, to this day, ooh, it's smoking. Is that steaming? Smoking? Can you see that?
Should I open it?
Is that a bad thing?
Wow.
I guess this is his actual. Oh. It comes with a training. I love it. Kind of looks like a chocolate. Let's get it. Let's get it. How do I do this and not crush it? Again, there's kind of a backstory to this of why I love it so much.
It's so great. It's too great that I hated it. Oh. I think my skill set is being ridiculous. I think that's my strength. If I was in a job interview, what's your strength? Being absolutely but crazy ridiculous. I feel like I just gotta hold it for the rest of the show now.
Why is it works so well?
I'm gonna like hit something though. I swear I'm gonna hit something. Oh, see? Look. Oh, Phantom Menace, how I adore. I guess it's the same, hey?
I still, to this day, ooh, it's smoking. Is that steaming? Smoking? Can you see that?
Should I open it?
Is that a bad thing?
Wow.
I guess this is his actual. Oh. It comes with a training. I love it. Kind of looks like a chocolate. Let's get it. Let's get it. How do I do this and not crush it? Again, there's kind of a backstory to this of why I love it so much.
It's so great. It's too great that I hated it. Oh. I think my skill set is being ridiculous. I think that's my strength. If I was in a job interview, what's your strength? Being absolutely but crazy ridiculous. I feel like I just gotta hold it for the rest of the show now.
Why is it works so well?
I'm gonna like hit something though. I swear I'm gonna hit something. Oh, see? Look. Oh, Phantom Menace, how I adore. I guess it's the same, hey?
I still, to this day, ooh, it's smoking. Is that steaming? Smoking? Can you see that?
Should I open it?
Is that a bad thing?
Wow.
I guess this is his actual. Oh. It comes with a training. I love it. Kind of looks like a chocolate. Let's get it. Let's get it. How do I do this and not crush it? Again, there's kind of a backstory to this of why I love it so much.
It's so great. It's too great that I hated it. Oh. I think my skill set is being ridiculous. I think that's my strength. If I was in a job interview, what's your strength? Being absolute. Alrighty, let's get in here. How we doing? How are we doing? Goodness me. There's a few things we gotta talk about, I believe. A few things to talk about. Let's get into it. Are we alive? How did we go? How did we go? Oh, wow. That was a finale. That was a finale. I'm very interested to see what people have to say. Super interested. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Okay. We will see. Still waiting for the Rian Johnson trilogy. Shout out those. That was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in. Let's be real. Oz saying, I really love the show. Fantastic, but something I disliked is that it did leave several stuff unanswered, hoping for season 2. What did it leave unanswered for you? I feel like it hit all the things I was hoping it would hit in terms of answering. Pretty direct confirmation that Kwame was Vern's Padawan. Interesting mind wipe situation there with May. Osha turning to the dark side. Interesting. So interesting. Kelda saying, so good. Oh my god, shout out Red Dwarf. I love it. Let's go more Crimea. That's what I'm hoping for. If we get a season 2, I want a Khmer show. Brian coming in saying, Sol, like Indara, was distracted when killed. Sol emotionally. It hit hard for me to judge the power of Osha compared to Yoda, Luke, or Anakin. It's hard for me to judge the power of Osha compared to Yoda, Luke, or Anakin. Yeah, I don't think it's that comparable, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about it. That was Plagueis, right? I don't know. I don't know many other Sith Munes that are hanging about. I don't know too many of them. I don't know too many of them, so yeah. Insane. Master Sol was obsessed from the beginning with the twins to the point it was his downfall. Yeah, that was his storyline. I thought they might have kept him alive, but pretty insane death scene and Osha being the ones at the hands of his death. Very interesting. Very interesting. If you're just tuning in, welcome in. Let me know your thoughts of the episode. Crystal bleeding was cool. That was cool. I did like that. And like seeing it happen, I thought that was really, really cool. I thought it was really cool. They did Master Sol dirty, saying, yep. Says Robin. Star Wars Fanatic says, so this stands to say Plagueis is on the same world. Perhaps mine he owned Tenebrous in. It's the same. That was established when we saw this planet first, right? That was what was the connection to this planet? Like Plagueis knew this planet or something. Not sure how to feel right now, says George. Fair enough. I have a Sith in my closet for when I'm feeling a little dark. What's that mean? Because bleeding in live action was amazing. Yeah, I really liked that. I really liked that shot. That was really, really cool. To me, it left unanswered. How did Khmer find May? Khmer had no... Oh, yeah, true. Going back to this. Khmer had no connection to Brendok. What happened to Mother Coral? And how was May and Osha actually created? I would have loved to see that. Good question. Good question. I think... I don't know. To me, those questions, I feel like I've gotten the story that these characters had to go on for this story to be fulfilled. I don't think those questions... I kind of get what you're saying about Khmer had no connection to Brendok. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know how he would have come across May somehow. But true, we hadn't seen that. Yeah, absolutely. He didn't look like your classic nice guy. He looked pretty creepy. The hand, the second I saw the hand, at first I thought it would have been like a monster, like creature. But then I can't wait to go back and watch my reaction, because then just like the clicking of it, of like the really long thin fingers being like, that's got to be a Mune's hand. That was pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, Isn't my favorite show only after Andor? This was awesome. Anita season 2. There you go. Yoda at the end. I've never been so excited to see the back of someone's head. Actually, no. I take that back. I was very excited to see the back of Thrawn's head in the Ahsoka trailer. Second time in Star Wars, I've been very excited to see the back of someone's head. 100%. Yeah, chat agreeing here. Crystal bleeding was sick AF. Absolutely agree. Why did Basil disable the ship? Yeah, let's talk about that. Basil being the real Sith Acolyte here. The real Sith Acolyte. Did you watch it with Keanu? Yes, he watched it along with me. They really left so much open at the end, open-ended threads with the hopes they get a season 2. Yes, but also I feel like every season does that. I feel like my shows do that. They concluded the story of what was being told, but like the Osha Korean team up at the end, like that's quite normal for a season. I think it was pretty cool. Johnny coming in saying Sol's saber design was my favorite, so seeing it live, seeing it live on in a red blade form is the best. That's a good point. It will live on in Osha's hands. I could have been done without that peak though. I don't think they needed to have 2 full flashback episodes. Would have been better if they just worked throughout the show. That's a good point, and I think in tomorrow's discussion we're going to be focusing on this season as a whole and what we got out of this whole story. So I think I have some thoughts to add there in tomorrow's discussion as well. But yeah, fair point. Yoda looked very small and very Return of the Jedi. You think so? I felt like he looked very Phantom Menace, to be honest. I feel like the amount of hair he had a lot. He had a lot. Air Adventure coming in with $5 Doritos. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for the support. What do you think was happening with the mask? Possessions? Whose spirit? So good. Also, how are we feeling about the subtle hand hold? Good question. The first question I'll answer. Yeah, there's definitely, I forget what he said, but I felt like he said something about the force power being around the mask. I thought that was cool. I kind of suspected that, and I was hoping that would be the case with the mask, that it would do something to you. I don't quite understand what happened, because it looked like Quamir jumped in between like the kind of witchy, dark mental state and the reality as well. Like he was switching. So interesting. I don't know what's happening there, but I kind of like it. I like the premise of it. I think it's cool. I think that's a cool concept. Second question, how are we feeling about a subtle handhold? I don't ship it. I don't know. I don't think you can work with someone you're into. I don't know. I think it's a bit weird. I'm not a fan. But thank you so much for the $5 Doritos. What do you think? Are you shipping it? Was he afraid of the meteors? Possibly. But Basil, honestly, is the real bad guy of this show. The true acolyte of this show is Basil. 100%. Also, never hopped off Soul Patrol. Yes, he did a lot of mistakes, but he made them coming out of her love for Osha and trying to protect the children. This is the Soul storyline. Again, I think I'll break down a lot more succinctly in tomorrow's discussion show. I still don't understand it in the sense of I don't get why he was so obsessed. And I think the question of whether Sol was a good or bad person is still up for debate. I don't think that's been kind of set in stone. But in saying that, Vern, on the other hand, throwing Sol under the bus, even when the guy's dead, that's not a good move. 100%. Was that Darth Plagueis? I think so. I think it might be. I don't know. Again, I don't know any other Sith mutants out there. There could be. I don't know any other ones. So I think it's a Plaguey. Boy. We got it on our hands. Jason, overall, I liked the show. It was a solid conclusion. Like that Vern totally burned Sol and kept the cover-up going. She's a B. Yeah, you tell her. That is using her fear of the Senate to dictate her actions. Oh, again, I don't want to be like so watch tomorrow to find out. But honestly, like I have so many thoughts about that storyline that I agree with. I think that's a cool showing. It's such a minute part of this season, but it's something that I think is really important to the storyline of Star Wars right now. So it's interesting. Ooh, Saber's been saying a bit underwhelming. Hit me. What underwhelmed you about it? $2 dues coming in from Brian. Give me some platonic love. I was right. I don't know. They might be a little bit too keen on each other. A little bit too keen. Absolutely. I think I'll need to think a bit more on it. I feel like the whole arc could have been done in like 4 episodes in half the time. I agree, Katie. I mean, I think I'm on a bit of a thrill right now because I quite like that episode. I quite like the Plagueis reveal, but I have a lot of what's the word for it? I have a lot of dissatisfaction with a lot of the rest of the story previous in this show. I feel like we should have started not at a point where we're at in the finale in terms of the story, but just the energy, the focus. I feel like we should have started somewhere more with the story with the finale. I felt like the important and interesting story was wrapped up in 4 episodes. I agree. I think I agree with you there. So do we think one day May and Osha will return to a single being? Maybe then reinstating the power of the Coven? Ooh, that's a good question. I do have a theory now that we're having this direct link that Plagueis is involved. I think I originally once said that I think Quamir is some sort of product of Plagueis. He's this kind of defect clone of some sort, or, human. He tried to attempt to Plagueis put his power into or something. But that could have happened with the girls. He could have attempted to create life with the girls, with the witches. That could have been something we're going here. I do think Plagueis has a hand in their creation, definitely. I agree. I found Vern so much more interesting now. This was her best episode. Absolutely best episode. I was a little underwhelmed, but still enjoyed. Well, that's good. What parts did you enjoy? Definitely Plagueis. Season 2 could be better with a story focused in on him. 100%. Season 2, if it were to happen... Now, I can say seeing the finale. If it were to happen, I think the focus on being on Quimere, Plagueis, being in the shadows, I think that's a sweet spot. I think that's a sweet story to be told. I think I would probably have some different writers in the writing room, perhaps, but I think that as a story focus would immediately make it really engaging for me. I think so. It was the Stranger's Cave that Plagueis was in. Was he stalking Quimere? Was he sent by Darth Tenebris to get at the location? If Plagueis is the master, would he be okay with an Acolyte? Many questions. That's a good point. I think Quimere knows Plagueis is there. I think they're buddies. I think they know each other and do stuff together. I think Plagueis... Oh... I gotta reread the book again. Yeah, actually, I do have to say that Star Wars Throwbacks, I agree. I wasn't at all crash hard on the Corey in the last episode, but the Soul Quimere fight in this episode, really cool. I liked that. I thought it was actually pretty solid. Yes, I'm here with you, Sabersmith. Didn't care for the Mayosh character. Story was all over the place. At the very least, the council didn't find out about Quimere. That's a good point. That's a good point. I think this is how Plagueis learns about creating life from this. Quimere looked very interested, as if he had to tell his master. I think it's the other way around. I think actually Plagueis has already had a hand in creating these girls. I think he... Okay, here's an idea. What if Plagueis had some sort of hand in creating the girls for the witches, and Quimere is like his little errand boy, and he made Quimere watch over... Like, that's how Quimere knows about May and everyone, because Plagueis made him go watch over them, and then also he, like, trains May. But that's Plagueis' doing. That's my thought. When Sol was telling May about being created by the Force, Quimere totally picked up and was like, huh? I don't know. I felt like he knew. I'm gonna reread Darth Plagueis to relearn the Ninja Code myself again. Yeah, I gotta get back into it. 100%. It is. It definitely is. Yes, I agree. I don't know. The other characters were more compelling to me. 2 Poundaroos do stuff together? What stuff? Shock horror. Yeah, absolutely. They should have killed Osha and May together in a poetic way. I think that could have been cool. That definitely could have been very interesting. Some of the best lightsaber action I've seen in a while, though. All of that was great. Yeah. Again, the Soul Quimere battle, really good. Crisp, firm, really cool. They said the Vengeance was the location, not the girls. Yes, but you know, all that nod to them being a creation in the Force. I don't know. I feel like there's still more understanding to bring there. Justin, you're on the money here. Plagueis and Quimere probably get lunch together on the weekends. What do mutants eat? I feel like they're vegetarian in a weird way. I don't know. What do you think Vern tells Yoda at the end? Hey, bitch. BT Dubs. That's actually a really good question. What does Vern tell Yoda? Does she, because she's done the cover-up with Sol, killed all these colleagues because he felt bad. She's done the cover-up, so what is she gonna tell Yoda? Is she gonna tell Yoda about Quimere? I don't think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There. It felt like a really dramatic episode, but I was just kind of like, okay, they're sad. Sure. Oh man, tells Yoda the truth and he agrees to cover it up like everything else in my head anyway. Maybe. It'll probably sense if Vernestra lies to him. That's true. So I feel like she has to tell somewhat of the truth, but I don't think she'll tell all the stuff about it. But I definitely think like the goal of this show was to show the start of why the Jedi, like, you know, once we get to prequels, Yoda's always been like, there's the shroud of the dark side is around. Like they're already aware of that. They're already like, we don't know what's going down. We can't figure it out. They're already saying it. They're already saying that. $5 dues coming in from Brian. But remember, my thing was Quimir had a master. Soul would die. Twins would fight. Possible master of Quimir would be a thing. Let's podcast gangster. I love that. Yeah, you did say that. You did call it. Seeing the master tonight, even if it was just a moment. Darth Plagueis ebook just put on sale on Amazon. There you go. Buckle up. I think the series really... Oh, hey, Joel. Series really depends if you care about Mayor Ocean. I know I did. Yeah, well, that's a good point. I feel like if you loved the show, you cared about it. But I particularly didn't connect to their storyline. So that's why I didn't fully invest in it, I feel. Like, I get their storyline. I'm like, okay, that's their story. I don't know. I think I need a bit more context to each of their personalities, because I found myself constantly being confused of the motives, and I know that's a part of the story where like they kind of switched and was like that was challenged throughout the show, but it was almost too confusing for me. I really couldn't follow what their motives were. I struggled to understand the motivations. A lot of character. Oh, there you go. GJ saying the exact same thing, especially Man Osha. The ride was still fun though. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Like I get it, but also I don't get it, if that makes sense. Yeah, they are so switchy. Yeah, they do switch. They do switch a lot. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's get the where's the next bloody hang on, let me get the banner on the screen. There we go. Get the banner on the screen. Full Acolyte season discussion tomorrow at 5 p.m. You don't want to miss it. No, I understood Man Osha pretty well. Yeah, like I understood them. I just didn't care. Like I just needed more context for the characters at the start, I think. Like I get it, but it's like, okay. Like, you know. They wanted to be together. They didn't. They did. You know, I don't know. To me, the show felt like it was more about Master Soul. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it was definitely more a focus on his motivations for that storyline. I do think the May Osha storyline was very complex. Was the same person, two bodies concept. It may have been difficult to emotionally connect, but I believe it was really cool mentally. Well, this is my like qualm with the show actually, is because it's like the concepts are things that I really think are really good story points. And I think this concept works very well. But I don't actually know why I didn't connect with it. I don't think I can articulate that yet of why I didn't quite connect with it. But you got a good point here. Good concept. It's interesting. $2 dues. Just remember who called it love toy. What are you talking about? Don't know what that means. Thank you for the $2 dues. Oh man. I like that the Senate external review of the Jedi not only sets up the Jedi for further political caution, but that it also gets the Senate overseeing the Jedi in prep for PALPs. 100%. Again, one of the strongest but also barely shown parts of this show is the Senate's involvement, but I really liked that. Really loved that. I think that as a concept, it was just so cool. Love to see it. So I think that's actually why I really liked this episode. Definitely my favorite of the season, and I think it was all the Senate stuff, to be honest. I love a good bit of Star Wars Senate. I think that's a cool element. All right, gang. Well, we're going to start to wrap up the show there. Only a short one to discuss all that we thought of the finale episode. But don't you worry, on the screen down below tomorrow, we're going to have a full debrief, overview, breakdown, and thoughts and everything in between about the Acolyte Season 1. So be there tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's 1 a.m. GMT, and that is 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I'll hopefully catch you all there. Hopefully you can tune back in and we'll go over all the storylines and characters from this show and rate it and review it as much as we can. Thanks so much for dropping back in and giving me your immediate reactions. Can't wait to chat with you tomorrow about the whole show. Have a great rest of the night. Get your notes ready. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. And before I see you tomorrow, make sure you always choose the race side. I think my skill set is being ridiculous. I think that's my strength. If I was in a job interview, what's your strength? Being absolutely crazy ridiculous.